The low of 63 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Sean Brenda. 2 non-fatal shootings overnight in Milwaukee. The first was around 7:30 on North 24th Street. A 51-year-old was injured. The suspect was caught, and charges are being referred to the Milwaukee District Attorney's Office. And the second was around 8:15 on West Cherry Street. A 19-year-old was injured. Police are still looking for a suspect. Both shootings are under investigation. And defense attorneys urging a judge Saturday to bar federal prosecutors from seeking the death penalty, the killing of United Healthcare chief Brian Thompson. ABC's Chuck Silverton.
Luigi Mangione's lawyers arguing that prosecutors prejudiced his case by turning his arrest into a Marvel movie spectacle and by publicly declaring their desire to see him executed. His attorneys are fighting to have his federal case dismissed, seizing on Attorney General Pam Bondi's declaration prior to his April indictment that capital punishment is warranted for a premeditated, cold-blooded assassination that shocked America.
Federal prosecutors have until October 31st to respond. Mangione has pleaded not guilty. And providing funding to help fight veteran homelessness in Wisconsin. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs announced Friday they would be investing $9.3 million to Wisconsin organizations that help veterans who are without a home or are on the brink of becoming homeless. The grants will help struggling veterans have access to housing, health care, financial planning services, child care, legal protection, and transportation. The grants are among a total of $818 million in funding the VA is awarding nationwide. And FEMA disaster recovery centers are set to open next week. The goal is to assist anyone who is dealing with uninsured losses from historic flooding. Waukesha County Executive Paul Farrow tells Wisconsin's Midday News.
We have gone through the cleanup. We've gotten, unfortunately, all the personal items that were damaged in the floods, houses that were damaged. We've gotten that material out. Now the key is trying to do the repairs where we can. Don't wait to get a response from FEMA to start repairing. Start repairing now. Document all the costs. Make sure that you keep everything.
The centers will open on September 23rd in Butler, Brookfield, and Muskego. And farmers may soon have to pay more to operate under an animal dealer license. The Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection is proposing a 1,700% increase in the fee for a license. State veterinarian and DADCAP Darlene Conkle tells our partners at NBC 26 the fee increase is to help pay for state programs that help farmers.
We have noticed that our program revenue was running into a deficit. The last time those fees were raised was in 2009. And of course, our costs have gone up since then.
If the proposed increase is approved, a once $420 license will cost more than $7,400 annually. Sports, traffic, weather, and next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 5:04.
You'll get a new heat pump system, a new furnace, and a full home duct cleaning all together as a package at about half price. Half price! That's how it all shakes out. Not a gimmick. And both the furnace and the heat pump system are high-quality units. This is Anthony Zanevsky. All you have to do is purchase a heat pump system from Quality, and you'll get a free furnace and a free duct cleaning. All totaled, the cost would be about $20,000. When you add in the new tax incentives that you'll get back at the end of the year, you're going to end up paying about half. That's about $10,000 for a high-quality furnace, heat pump system, and a full home duct cleaning. It's limited time. And last time we did this, the units went pretty fast. So if your home needs a new furnace upgrade and a heat pump system that can act as a brand new AC system as well as a furnace backup, take advantage while you can and cut your energy bills substantially. Call Quality and get them while they're hot.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
Wisconsin's Morning News is here for you every weekday morning starting at 6 a.m. Then
the search for a Pewaukee native accused of killing his 3 daughters appears now to have come to an end.
Eric Billstad.
Community members weighing in on a possibility in a proposal to merge the West Dallas and Wauwatosa Fire Department.
And traffic with Debbie Lozica.
We've got a couple of accidents to start things off. 41 southbound at Blue Mound Road.
The news you need to know. Wisconsin's Morning News on WTMJ.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers lost to the Cardinals 7-1 last night. They play again at 6:15 from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. And the Packers play the Browns tomorrow with kickoff at noon in Cleveland. And the Badgers lost to the Maryland Terrapins, losing 27-10. Wisconsin has the next weekend off. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more. All right, taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ time saver traffic. We've got an accident over on I-94 east at the ramp from Wisconsin Route 175 north and Brewers Boulevard. The left shoulder is closed due to a crash, so be aware of that. Over on I-43 south at Highland Avenue, the right shoulder is closed due to a crash as well. If you head north, there's a crash on the exit to Appleton Avenue from I-41 US 45 south. Or that roads are looking pretty clear across southeast Wisconsin. All right, time for your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, scattered showers or a thunderstorm are expected with a low of 63 degrees. Sunday, a few more scattered showers or thunderstorms are expected with a high of 76 degrees. Monday's going to be partly cloudy with a chance of a scattered shower or a thunderstorm with a high of 78 degrees. Tuesday's going to be partly cloudy with a continued chance of scattered showers or a thunderstorm with a high of 77 degrees. And Wednesday's going to be partly cloudy with a slight chance of a shower or a storm as well with a high of 72 degrees. Right now, in Madison, it's 75. In Green Bay, it's 68. In Waukesha, it's currently 70 degrees. Right here in Milwaukee, it's 68 degrees. I'm Sean Brinda, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 5:07.
This is Brewers Warm-Up with Dominic Cotroneo. Hear lineups, manager insights, and a preview of tonight's game right now. This is Brewers Warm-Up. Here's your host, Dominic Cotroneo.
Live from the Lou, welcome to Busch Stadium. The Brewers and the Cardinals, Game 2 of a 3-game set down here in St. Louis. We're live on site. Welcome into the program. I'm Dom Cotroneo. We'll be here today and tomorrow. You know, no reason. Just felt like a good time to come down to St. Louis this time of year. Well, obviously what we're here for. We're hoping for that the Brewers clinch while we're in town. The Brewers' magic number is 3 as we start play today. That means any combination of a Brewers win or a Cubs loss will lower that number. So the Brewers will send the rookie, Chad Patrick, to the mound again today, making the spot start, but he's plenty lengthened out. He's been making a handful of starts here in the second half against Miles Michaelis, who pitched against the Brewers and pitched well last Sunday at American Family Field as the Cardinals have their final 2 home games of the regular season. They're also honoring the 30th anniversary of the 1985 St. Louis Cardinals. So there's a lot of festives and activities and a lot going on here at the ballpark here today for St. Louis. Now, the Brewers made a move today that we'll talk about in depth in the next segment, but the one move is to help out their bullpen. Bruce Zimmerman is active and added to the 40-man roster. You may remember Bruce as a Baltimore Oriole back in the day. He is taking the place of Yoel Payamps, who has been DFA'd by the Brewers for a second time this season. So, Bruce Zimmerman, a lefty, active for the Crew. You may be wondering, well, what about Robert Gasser? Well, Robert, can report, is present at Busch Stadium, but not yet active. The Brewers do expect him to pitch tomorrow. They were coy about whether or not he would be starting, but just like I wrote in the notebook on WTMJ.com, I think all indications point to it being Robert Gasser in tomorrow's contest. Bruce Zimmerman, we'll talk about him more coming up in the next segment. 30 years young, again, originally a Baltimore Oriole, and spent up and down. He was optioned multiple times in 22 and in 23. Had a lot of injuries the last couple of years, but now this year in AAA Nashville, finally a full, healthy season, 138 innings. Doesn't strike out the world, but his sinker has been performing well. A 4.11 ERA down there in AAA. The metrics agree that is just about where he's supposed to be, but really good command, only 30 walks in those 138 innings. We'll talk to Bruce in the next segment. But right now, let's give you the starting lineup, starting with the visiting Milwaukee Brewers, who are in first place in the NL Central. No scoreboard watching to talk about at the start for the Brewers. We'll get to that later in the show. The Brewers open today's contest 6 games clear of the Cubs with 8 to go. Here's their lineup today. Leading things off once again will be Sal Frelick. He hit his 12th homer of the season yesterday. Jackson Churio in center field again and batting second. The 3 spot is Yelly. He is DHing. He had a couple of hits yesterday. Christian Yelich in the 3rd spot. William Contreras bats cleanup. He is behind the plate. Batting 5th, Bryce Starang's been in the homer drought, if there's such a thing for Bryce. He's playing second base. Caleb Durbin back in his college town, went Wash U down the road. Caleb is at third base. The 7th hitter is Jake Bowers. Why not? He reached base all 4 times last night. Jake rakes. He's in left. That's key there. Left field. Batting 8th is Andrew Vaughn. This is the first time we've seen both of them in the starting lineup together. Batting 9th will be Joey Ortiz, the shortstop. Once again for the crew, Frelick, Churio, Yelich the top third, Contreras, Turang, Durbin in the middle, Bowers, Vaughn, and Ortiz the bottom third. They're all facing the right-hander Miles Michaelis, 8-10, a 4.80 ERA. For the Cardinals and Oliver Marmol, here's how they go. Brendan Donovan will lead things off at second base. The 2 spot belongs to Ivan Herrera, once again DHing. Alec Burleson is in left. He'll hit third. Nolan Arenado back in the lineup. He had the clutch bases-clearing double yesterday. Arenado hits cleanup. Thomas Ajazi is at short and batting 5th, followed by Nolan Gorman getting the start at first base today. Burleson was there yesterday. The 7th spot is Pages, Pedro Pages. He is the catcher. Jordan Walker will play right field. And batting 9th is Victor Scott in center field, rounding out the order for the Redbirds. All facing the right-hander, Chad Patrick, as a rookie, 3-8, but a 3.64 earned run average. Again for St. Louis, Donovan, Herrera, Burleson, the top third. Arenado, Sajazi, and Gorman in the middle. Pages, Walker, and Scott at the bottom. We'll talk to Bruce Zimmerman. We'll also hear Pat Murphy's updates on Trevor McGill and what he makes of the outfield race, given a new wrinkle was presented today with Jake Bowers playing left. All of that coming up as we'll take Brewers warm-up all the way to about just shy of 6:40. Then the on-deck show built by Menards takes over from there. Lane Grindle and Josh Maurer on the call from St. Louis. Brewers warm-up continues after this on 620 WTMJ.
This September, test dress any mattress at Steinhafels and you'll get a $20 restaurant gift card. Plus, Steinhafels will donate $20 to Special Spaces Wisconsin, creating dream bedrooms for kids with cancer. Stop in this month, enjoy a night out, and help make a difference.
Hi, WTMJ's Sandy Max here to tell you about incredible career opportunities with my friends at 3 Pillars Senior Living Communities in Dousman. 3 Pillars is ranked best in continuing care, assisted and independent living, and it's a certified great place to work. They're hiring caregivers within their assisted living and memory care communities. Full and part-time day or evening shifts starting at $20 per hour, and you could get more based on experience and shifts. The best part, you'll make a difference in the lives of others every day. Go to 3pillars.org and click on the Careers tab to learn more.
The ancient name God spoke to Moses at the burning bush, the name that means I am who I am, the name of the one who is a consuming fire, whose name scribes and sages were too frightened to speak aloud, that pronunciation has been lost. We lost God's name, but God found us, and He gave us the name that He's always wanted us to call Him by, Jesus.
Dr. Michael Ziegler, this week on The Lutheran Hour.
Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. My wife recently had a major accident that involved her back. I felt blessed and lucky because Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin is on our side. She's on the way to healing. They've got the best imaging and best doctors, the best systems, and the best way of taking care of you. They've got experts when it comes to things like shoulders, knees, and hips. And it's not always surgery. Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin will take care of you from beginning to end. Go to their website, ohow.com, ohow.com. Request an appointment. Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin.
Stock up for less on work and home essentials with another great week of Fleet Farm deals. Like 40 pounds of KT Basic Blend Bird Food for just $16.99. And Diamond Crystal Iron Fighter Softener Salt for only $7.29 a bag. Plus, get a $25 Fleet Farm gift card free when you buy $100 worth of Keen, Carhartt, or Timberland Pro footwear. Count on Fleet Farm to deliver the goods at the best prices guaranteed. And find even more weekly deals at fleetfarm.com.
Now, more of Brewers warm-up on WTMJ.
Welcome back, live from St. Louis. I'm Dom Cotroneo. We're hoping for champagne tomorrow. Here's the scenario that it happens for the Brewers. One of these two things are the only ways the Brewers can be popping bottles here at Busch Stadium. Number one, the Brewers win both of these 2 games, so they win the series against the Cardinals, and they need at least 1 loss from the Cubs over the weekend as they're playing the Reds. Or, option 2, it's vice versa. The Brewers need to win at least 1 more game in these next 2 in St. Louis, and Chicago loses both and thus gets swept by the Cincinnati Reds. So it's not totally in their hands. If they had won last night, then all they would have to do is win all the games. So the magic number remains at 3. We'll keep an eye on Cubs and Reds this evening. That game is just about to get going in about 20 minutes' time from Cincinnati. Our game starts at 6:15, just under an hour from now. The Brewers made a roster move today. To reiterate, the addition is Bruce Zimmerman, left-hander, born North Carolina, raised Marylander, and then was signed and drafted by the Baltimore Orioles. Spent most of his career with them, but had quite a few injuries, some small things that popped up toward the end of his time, including multiple option years when he spent with Baltimore, but was ultimately signed a minor league deal with the Brewers ahead of the 2025 season back in December. Nonetheless, he's a big leaguer. He's a lefty. He's been a starter for the majority of the year, and there has been some tandems in there as well. But he's somebody available to this Brewers bullpen that you can never say no to depth. Bruce Zimmerman, though, just simply happy to be back in the big leagues.
I mean, it's definitely been a little bit of a long road to get back here, so this is probably one of the more gratifying things that I've done, or little mini milestones in my career so far, is to finally get back here, because I knew I can pitch here, but a lot of times it just takes the right opportunity and the right timing to get back. So after a long, hard, good year, feels really good to get this opportunity.
That's the key, right? Good year. What made it a good year for you? What did you get right?
Well, coming out of spring, we tweaked the arsenal a little bit. Actually, the first couple of months, we had some fine-tuning to do, switched a couple pitch grips, and then really just dialed in kind of the core of the arsenal that really made me successful as a pitcher, and kind of just hammered down on that throughout the middle of the season, and when it finally started to click, and then stayed with it through the rest of the season. So I give credit to Brian and Mess down there. They really just were able to kind of isolate, at this point in time in my career, what makes me a good pitcher, and kind of have the wherewithal to stick with that and see it through.
How important has health been for you as well, just to be available at the end of the season and to have this opportunity present itself?
That's probably one of the things I'm most proud of this season, to be honest with you. I kind of got nicked with some small injuries the past couple of years, but to be able to I think I made 29 appearances this year in AAA. They all would have been starts, but had some tandems and things in there. But just the ability to be healthy at this point in the season is a major win for me in my book. And obviously, if I wasn't, I wouldn't be available for this opportunity. So it's a huge part of, just staying ready and being available.
So in his time in the big leagues, the numbers don't necessarily fly off the page. I don't want to correct myself. He was actually drafted by the Braves and then eventually acquired as a minor league free agent by the Orioles back in 2018. Made his big league debut in the 2020 season, but made it back to the show with fans in the stands in 21, 22, and in 23. Has not pitched in the big leagues since that 2023 season where he appeared in 7 games for the Orioles. So for Bruce, he is somebody that can give length. He was actually scheduled to start today for the Nashville Sounds in AAA, so it's his arm day. If he pitches today or tomorrow, they have him available and ready to go. But one of the serendipitous things about him being here, and he was on a couple of good teams there with the Orioles, of course, 2 years ago when they were in the postseason for the first time in a long time, and last year, but he kept getting optioned. So he has never been a part of the champagne spray. Maybe the Brewers can provide it for him, despite him only spending maybe 48 hours in the big league clubhouse.
I haven't. I was with the Orioles. I was optioned down at the time at the end of the season, so I wasn't able to be there, and I went to the Stay Ready camp. So this is definitely a different, atmosphere to be a part of in a big league clubhouse, and something that guys, they talked about it in the clinching post-game celebration. It's like some guys play the whole career without being able to experience that. So if I'm lucky enough to be here and contributing with the team, and I've only been here for a few days, and if I get to experience it, I'll consider myself one of the luckier guys. So.
Yeah, aren't we all hoping for that to happen? And Christian Yelich said it best. Some guys go their entire careers without ever getting to do it. And now there are rookies on this team that don't know any different. And, heck, there are even second- and third-year players like Bryce Terang and Sal Frelick that also don't know any different, that think that this is how it is every single year. The expectation is the postseason. So remember it. It's a great time to be here. I promise you, every single fan in red and white here at Busch Stadium would trade for another opportunity in the postseason. Now, part of the reason Bruce Zimmerman is here is because the bullpen is still not quite up to 100% health. We'll explain with Trevor McGill coming up after this on 620 WTMJ.
The power of friendship has spawned a memorable baseball season in Milwaukee. When you choose to work with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, the relationship is more than what feels like having a friend. Pella honors trust and commitment on your behalf before, during, and after the sale. They take those values to heart with every person the Pella team works with. It's natural to feel a little apprehensive about having someone visit your home, but take it from me and my wife. The brilliant Pella designers immediately put you at ease with their experience and professionalism. We love that initial visit, along with how easy they made it to envision bringing our project to life. Pella is committed to being the company everyone wants to do business with, and they've certainly lived up to that and more. And with this month's incredible deal, Gina Della from Pella is here to share why you shouldn't wait to order new windows and doors.
Order today and get 0% interest for up to 60 months. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 9/30/2025.
All personal injury law firms essentially cost the same. When you receive a settlement or win a verdict, we take 1/3 as our fee. If you get nothing, we get nothing. But one law firm has recovered more million-dollar results than any other firm in Wisconsin. We have handled and won the largest cases in state history. And we cost the same as every other personal injury firm in town. Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service. Visit habish.com for more information.
The vibrant fall colors and cooler temperatures make for great days out on the golf course. The Island invites you to experience the best of fall golf with late season rounds at Sweetgrass or Sage Run. Fall golf rates run through the end of the 2025 season, with tee time starting at $75 and stay and play packages from $125. And submit your 2026 golf package request early to guarantee choice dates. Plan your fall golf adventure today at islandresortgolf.com.
Back to Brewers Warm-Up on WTMJ.
Brewers and Cardinals, game 2 of a 3-game set. Not much to talk about from last night's game because the Cardinals just whacked them. 7-1 was the final score yesterday. The only run, a Sal Frelick solo homer for the Crew, but the sun came up today. It poured rain earlier, washing out batting practice for both teams, but the clubs were able to get back out there and get some infield, get some side work, some flat grounds in, and that sort of thing. But all eyes were on the Brewers visiting bullpen in left center field for a bullpen session for one Trevor McGill. He was scheduled to throw 20 or so pitches today. We'll get feedback on how that went today from his strained right flexor. Now, he is still feeling it, in the words of Pat Murphy, as he explains here in a moment, but just that this is an injury, as we've outlined, that takes time to heal, but every time you try the gamble and say, all right, let's see if it's healthy, you got to see if it's healthy, and if it's not there, you just lost a little bit more time. So here's Pat Murphy explaining what the Brewers hope can be the timeline for Trevor McGill moving toward the end of the regular season.
Wouldn't it? Or ramp up. I mean, he's just going to throw his bullpen, and then if it feels good, we'll get alive, and hopefully we'll rock and roll. Get him in a game.
Is that responding any better?
I can't give you a concise answer on that. It isn't easy. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it isn't easy to say how he's feeling. Like, he still feels it. He's trying to pitch. There's a lot of questions with that. So can you pitch with it feeling like that? Is it healthy to pitch with it feeling like that? So there's just so much at stake here. Let's get him through the bullpen and see if he can work through some of it and see if, he can launch his breaking ball and feel good about it. Have a 20-pitch session, feel like he can come back and do it again in a day or two and then throw a live. And maybe another live, because, he's got to pitch, Even if he can get in that last series of the season and pitch once, and then at least it's something.
That's the goal, is they want him to get one more regular season game in, and so hopefully it's next weekend against the Reds. That being said, it is going to be a full month at least for him on the injured list, and look, you can predict injuries, you can hope for the best as always, and I know Trevor McGill said, I expect this to be a minimum stay on the IL. That's what every player always says forever, including guys who tear their ACL, right? I'm good. No, I'm good. Send me back out there, coach. That's just every athlete ever. So you always take it with a grain of salt. You hope that he gets back sooner as opposed to later, but the Brewers know they are their best form when Trevor McGill is available. And it sounds rough, but the truth is, him missing the division series is on the table. And I don't want to be alarmist or freak anybody out, but the truth is, if they sacrifice the DS from Trevor McGill in order to have him for the CS in the World Series, it might be a gamble you're willing to take, and here's why. We've explained the extra off day, how beneficial it is from a starting pitching rotation. We haven't even talked about it from a bullpen perspective. You would only need to throw a back-to-back in the DS for Games 3 and Games 4. You will have, if a DS goes 5 games in the National League, you will have somebody that pitches in all 5 games in the DS this year, just because of the extra off day between Game 1 and Game 2. So because of that, that gives your bullpen a little bit of a breather. That gives your chance to replenish and keep these guys fresh. I think of Aaron Ashby. I think of Nick Mears. I think of Abner Uribe. I think of Jared Koenig. Those guys are all going to be massive parts of the Brewers bullpen, not only for all of October, but especially the DS. And the other thing I think that, maybe 3 of them have in common is that they would be trusted to have the 9th inning in the absence of Trevor McGill, right? I think we've already seen Abner Uribe obviously get saves. Jared Koenig got it the other day. He's able to do that. He's done it in his past. And I wonder if Aaron Ashby would get the opportunity, depending on the window of the lineup, right? If they got a bunch of lefties coming up, that's something that should be on the Brewers' radar. So, we've still got more to talk about here on Brewers Warm-Up. We're going to send it back to our breaking news center in just a moment with the news. When we come back, we'll do some scoreboard watching. We'll also talk a little bit about the outfield for the Brewers. Jake Bauers is in left field today. Jackson Chourio is in center again. With only 8 games to go and 2 weeks from the division series beginning, what will that outfield look like? We'll break that down coming up after a break and also after the news. So for now, we send it back to our breaking news center. Here's Sean Brinda.
Thanks, Tom. Police responded to an unprovoked attack early Saturday morning in a parking lot outside of Camp Randall Stadium. One victim is in the hospital in critical condition. Police identified the suspect as Keith Jones. Authorities say Jones might have a best security uniform and radio. He was last seen wearing black shorts, a black hoodie, black shoes, long dark socks, and a light-colored hat. A warrant has been issued for Jones's arrest. If you see Jones, police urge you not to approach him and to instead call 911 immediately. And new information in a crash that killed 3 people on Milwaukee's west side Tuesday. According to the criminal complaint, a 17-year-old girl was allegedly driving the car when she was fleeing police when it ran a red light near 35th and Villette. 19-year-old Trevon Lawston was allegedly pointing a gun at the driver of the van, telling her not to stop for law enforcement. The crash killed a 50-year-old mother and her 2 sons, ages 21 and 15, as they were heading home from a soccer practice. A 16-year-old was also in the car and corroborated the story. And a unique question will be asked of jurors in the pending criminal trial of Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan. Dugan is set to go on trial in December on federal criminal charges that accuse her of obstructing immigration agents trying to arrest an undocumented Mexican migrant outside her courtroom earlier this year. Prospective jurors will be asked about their news sources and past political activities. If convicted of the charges levied against her, Dugan could be sentenced to up to 6 years in prison. All right, taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ time saver traffic. We got a couple of incidents on the road. I-43 north at Wisconsin Route 145 Fond du Lac Avenue. The left lane is blocked due to a crash. If you're heading further up on I-43 North, we got a crash on the exit to North Avenue from I-43, so be aware of that as well. Other than that, roads are looking pretty clear across southeast Wisconsin. All right, time for your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Is looking to be a pretty wet next 5 days, starting tonight with scattered showers and storms with a low of 63 degrees. Sunday's going to become more isolated with some scattered storms, and a possible thunderstorm is expected with a high of 76 degrees. Monday's going to be partly cloudy with a chance of showers and a storm with a high of 78 degrees. Tuesday will be partly cloudy with a continued chance of scattered showers and storms with a high of 77 degrees. And Wednesday's looking to be partly cloudy with a slight chance of a shower or a storm with a high of 72 degrees. Right now in Madison, it's 74 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 67 degrees. In Waukesha, it's 71 degrees. And right here in Milwaukee, it's 67 degrees. I'm Sean Brenda, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 5:31.
The new fractured boulders we now have in stock are really nice. They're squarer and more rectangular in shape, and they're great for building dry-laid retaining walls. They're much easier to deal with, lock together nicely, and you get less gaps. No wet mortar needed. And we've stocked a multitude of colors. You can use them as an accent item to add character to your dry river or creek beds, too. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Our organic mulch is comprised of all trees. Most mulch is made from ground-up pallets, and you don't know what might have been spilled on those pallets. Could be chemicals or who knows what. But not our mulch, we're recycling trees. Many species of hardwoods. Cedar, hemlock, light brown, dark brown, mocha, black, red, gold, and caramel. 7 colors to choose from means a mulch to match any exterior. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
When I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, every time I come in, it's like a whole new store. It's because new inventory is arriving daily, all kinds of everything. And let me tell you, thrift store prices make buying easy. And helping others at the same time, that's icing on the cake. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Pitch by pitch, inning by inning, game by game. Watching the Crew is a 162-game journey of grit, hard work, talent, and determination. Dave Sponel from Annex Wealth Management, we're with you on your journey as well. Your hard work and money deserve a partner like Annex for your investment, retirement, tax, estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary. Take the next step towards retirement you desire and begin the conversation soon. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Now, more of Brewers Warm Up on WTMJ.
Final segment of Brewers Warm Up here on WTMJ. Brewers and Cardinals here from Busch Stadium. We're hoping there's going to be a big celebration tomorrow for the Brewers. We'll do some scoreboard watching. At the very end of this segment, give you an update on the only game in progress that matters in the National League. That is the Nats and the Mets. Interesting result so far out there, but it is the plot is thickening there too, and the American League is getting wacky. But before we do that, we mentioned today's lineup, Jake Bauers being in left and Chourio being in center. This is less of a headline about Chourio in center, or I should say, less of a headline about Bauers in left, but more that Chourio is continuing to get looks in center field. And the conflict that the Brewers are facing right now is, with respect to Blake Perkins, he hasn't had a full season. He's been coming off injury. He's had personal tragedy. He's had a rough year. There's no shaking it. And you hope that you can get his offense going in the right direction once again. But you put him in center field. That means you put Chourio in left. And that means you put Isaac Collins on the bench. Or the other way around is you put Chourio in center, Collins in left, and then Perkins is your man on the bench. Here's Pat Murphy's view of the three-man weave that he's got going on in the outfield.
I mean, it's a good option to have. We've got a great defender in Perkins. He hasn't had a full season under his belt. His versatility as a switch hitter. We've got a budding, young, really good player in Collins, who's, while his numbers lately haven't been as good, he's still a big, huge part of this team's success as a rookie. And We got Chourio coming off an injury. And he's a young star that's got a great future in the game, that's learning how to deal with this injury and dealing with playing center field. Really, first time in the big leagues this year. And yeah, so all those factors go into it.
He's going to be somebody that the Brewers, Perkins that is, know they have in their back pocket. And we've seen it already in games so far since Perk returned that they will trade the defense, right? Collins, after his last at-bat, generally he gets pulled, Chourio gets moved to left, and Perkins goes into center field when the Brewers have the lead. So we expect that to continue to happen. But there are a couple small things in yesterday's game that made Pat Murphy smile about Jackson Chourio's defense in center. He still sees the goal for Chourio is make sure you play center field. You don't need to make the highlight diving grab like we saw last Saturday against these Cardinals, but just make sure you play center field because your bat is always going to play.
But you got to play good center field. That's the bottom line. You got to play it good. You know, it's not just about running speed. It's about jumps. It's about readiness. It's about positioning, and it's about that want to. You know, so.
Or like yesterday, hitting the cutoff man, maybe in April. That's an airmail, right?
He did it twice yesterday, and one was really significant. The other one, nothing happened after it, but he made that throw, which is credit to him. And he's been out there working on it. Julio takes him out there, and they've been working on it.
Or if the hamstring, is it like up and down? Because
no, he's better. He's better. He's put out max speed, so it's better. I think the thing is conditioning and fatigue. When you go through that, you go through a long season, and then you get hurt, you're shut down totally. Now you're working back up to it slowly, but at the same time, we want him back. You know what I mean? So the ramp up is baseball big, but conditioning slow. So it's really more about conditioning right now and his comfortableness going out there after 100+ games.
All right, we'll keep an eye on Jackson Chourio in center field. So, quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard here. Craziness in the American League. Cleveland's playing a doubleheader today, and they won the first one 6-0 over Minnesota, and coupled with a snatch-and-back win for the Atlanta Braves when they were down to their last strike, Nacho Alvarez hits a 2-run single to take the lead, 6-5. They defeat Detroit. Cleveland has a chance to be within one game of the Detroit Tigers with one more head-to-head series to come this week. That's massive. And in the National League, the Mets are down 3-2, heading to the top of the ninth inning against the Nats for this wild card picture. So we'll have all the scoreboard updates coming up after the game today as well. I'll be with you live from Busch Stadium. Our producer has been Evan Witalison. I'm Dom Cotroneo. See you after.
At Tony Wendorf & Associates First Weber Group, we believe in the human side of real estate. For us, it's faith, family,